Good morning, guys. We are starting this vlog off on a Tuesday because we were picking up my in-laws from their international travel yesterday after work. So between work and getting them from the airport and just catching up on the travels, it was kind of a wash of a day. But today and this week, we have a lot of fun plans. So first things first, today I absolutely have to go to the grocery store. Our fridge is quite barren, to be quite honest. And I am taking my grandmother out to a lunch here in a couple of hours, and I want to have a bouquet of flowers for her as a belated Mother's Day gift, since she wanted to do a little dinner with her immediate children, of course. So me being her grandchild, still want to support her, and I want to give her a nice little blessing in terms of flowers. So I'm going to go find her a beautiful bouquet, hopefully. Aldi may or may not have that, more than likely, so I might have to go over to like Trader Joe's or just Kroger down the street to find something. Unfortunately, there's no local flowers available yet. It's a little too early in the season. Hopefully here soon, though, we can find some local flowers. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go find her a bouquet and get her a lovely card. That way I don't come empty-handed to lunch. And then coming up later this week, some other plans that you have to look forward to is we have a wedding, and we are going horseback riding as a belated gift to me that I have had since my birthday last year that I really needed to use up. So those are two of the many things we have in this vlog that I am very much looking forward to. But let's get today started because I've talked way too long as it is. Alright, just wanted to pop on real quick. I was going to film in Goodwill, but it was incredibly busy for a Tuesday. But I picked up some flowers for my grandmother, and to make it a little bit more special than just a bouquet, went and grabbed a little vase. I'm going to put this in a box with some newspaper in it, that way it can't move around in her car and or my car. But I'll show you guys the finished bouquet. I have three. Well, what can I say? Me and the camera are not on friendly terms today. But what I was trying to say is I have those three bouquets that I'm going to pull from to make the arrangement out of. But that is all for now. We can catch up later. Obviously, I've tried to film this clip multiple times, and each time the camera was just not being conducive, either in terms of video or in terms of volume. So it is what it is. I'm sorry for the issues, you guys. One of the other things I just really wanted to talk to you guys about today is really just living in the in-between, or the unknown, if you will. So at this point in time, you guys obviously know that we are no longer in the process of building our home, just due to some unforeseen job changes and other issues that had occurred within the final days of us closing and breaking ground. So with all that now, we are kind of living in what feels like the in-between, where we know what we are working towards, but we don't exactly have a timeline. And I've come to realize that for probably the majority of us, that actually is the majority of our life as well, quite frankly. You spend a lot of your life kind of looking for what's next. And I feel like we never allow ourselves to really fully enjoy the present. So one of the things I wanted to really emphasize in the coming months, and honestly, hopefully from now onwards, is really trying to make the most of and enjoy these in-between moments when you don't exactly know what's coming next, even though you are so desperately hoping and waiting and eagerly anticipating the next phase of life, whether that be if you are building a home or buying a home, getting married, finding your person, whether that be the case of just dating or, of course, engagement and such. Or if you're also maybe in the process of looking towards starting your family and eagerly awaiting the day that you can tell your partner and friends and family that you guys are expecting your first kid. I just want all of us to, I guess, more so try to just enjoy this in-between time, because if we look back and we finally get to that point we've been so eagerly anticipating, we're going to wonder where the time went. And I don't think any of us want that for ourselves, but I'll continue talking on this a little bit later. Alright, it's a little while later now. My camera had a sense of humor, it seems, because as I was going back on the clips, it seems as though some of my audio is not working, and it cut off some of the clips from me making the bouquet. So I wanted to show you guys what the finished bouquet product looked like. So I'm going to turn it around the best that I can in here. I have it stuffed with paper, that way it won't tip over. But that is the bouquet I made for my grandmother. I'm pretty sure she's going to love it. Hope she will. She should be here in the next 5-10 minutes for lunch, and I'm just honestly so excited to catch up with her. I need to be better about this. Quite frankly, I need to spend more time with both my grandparents while I still have them around. And ideally, I'd like to meet with them both monthly. Why that's so difficult, I quite frankly don't know. I don't know if it's the hours that I've been working or what, but truly there's no excuse. I'm back home. I'm within 30 minutes driving distance. I really do need to make the time to prioritize time with them. And I've said this before, even if you are long distance, make time to at least call them if nothing else. So that's it for now. I will talk with you guys a little bit later and maybe catch up with you guys if we do a little bit of shopping here. Not been to the Summit or the Paddock shops, whatever they renamed this shopping center to, since probably early college, if not maybe as far back as high school. So it might have been over a decade ago at this point, which is wild. So hopefully we'll do some exploring if the weather holds out. There are some horrible looking storm clouds in front of me right now.
Alright, got more gravel. Looks like we're gonna try and tear something.
Hello. Alright guys, so hopefully you can hear me. We are back out at the property for the fifth time in the last 2 weeks because we are planting Christmas trees. So we bought 100 Cannon fir seedlings that were between 6 inches and, well, some of them a 1.5 feet long, to be quite frank. And originally, let's be honest, we thought we were going to have access to a tractor to use. And so originally we were just planning on using the tiller and or renting a tiller to come in and till all this up. But due to changes in building plans, we no longer have access to that because essentially, well, let's just leave it at that. We just no longer have access to a tractor and or a tiller. So what we've ended up doing is coming out here and digging all these holes, all 100 of them, by hand. And so we've been coming out here every weekend and then on a few weeknights, which weeknights we've realized is not just going to work out very well because unless I take like a half day from seeing clients, it just really leaves us only an hour, 2 hours when we have to drive out here, and it's like an hour away from our current residence. And so it just makes no sense. But we are almost done. I have a grand total of five more seedlings left. And I cannot be more excited. Sam should probably be back any minute now with Dairy Queen. And that will probably be the most well-earned DQ, shake, blizzard, whatever in my life. And honestly, I don't usually like absolutely love Dairy Queen blizzards. I don't feel like they ever set well with me ever since I was a kid. But nonetheless, I'm very excited. So I just wanted to hop on here and give you an update. I've honestly intended to record this at least, well, the other 5 times we've been out here. And quite honestly, it just wasn't the time or the place because it was all hands on deck with family and Sam and myself. So now that we are very much nearing the finish line, I figured it'd be fun to come on here and pop on. But that is it for now. I gotta move on to the next hole. So now we're down to 4. Speaking of the in-between that I was talking about earlier, one of the other aspects of the in-between right now is really trying to not wish away time or wish away progress. So obviously right now we are very much beginner farmers with pretty much no experience other than that of being hobby farmers earlier in life, or I should rather say hobby gardeners. But right now, obviously, we have a pretty large tract of land to eventually manage. But at the moment, we aren't here or even close to being near this property enough to manage it ourselves. So outside of small things that we can leave, such as the Christmas trees, and only have to come to water them once a week, we can't really put much time and effort forward. Therefore, to some degree, it doesn't make sense for us to even consider purchasing equipment. So what you're watching us do right now, because obviously there is no water or irrigation that's set up on this property and probably won't be for quite some time, is we are having to haul water from the creek all the way up to the Christmas tree field to then start watering our Christmas trees. And so until the creek runs dry, that will be our plan. Once we do happen to have the creek run out and we can no longer haul water, I think we're going to buy a water tank, so maybe like 100-gallon, 60-gallon water tank that can fit in the back of a car for the time being. But obviously, most farmers or people that have been in farming are in that setting for a long period of time. Either one, have connections to someone that probably has some kind of water trailer to haul, or two, has maybe even inherited or of course purchased a tract of land that actually had water irrigation and or maybe just more fencing materials set forth on the farm. That was one of the things that we were hoping to look for, but quite frankly was well beyond our budget. And so for someone that is essentially reaching out and trying to grab their dreams at basically all costs, that comes with the reality that you have to make some sacrifices. So ours is simply just going to be that for the time being, we get to haul water to and from the creek, and that we're going to be doing things very much what I would consider, I guess, the old-fashioned way. But that is it in terms of the farm talk for now. I'll bring you guys along on updates as I can. But for the time being, we did end up popping over to the garden center again. I can't have a home garden since we don't have a property of our own that's close enough to manage right now. So what I do have is a couple of very small garden towers. Primarily what I've done with those is grown some leafy greens. So I had a good bit of spinach going earlier, and then I'm starting to put in some mostly just herbs, quite frankly, and then some aromatics for fun, such as things like lavender, which, I mean, you can obviously use in terms of baking or teas if you wanted to. But that is all. I'm trying to just make the most of this time that we have, and also this time in the city. So for example, don't always and probably won't always have the time to do a morning yoga workout session out with the birds chirping first thing on a weekend. Maybe I will, but I know at some point there's going to be duties that involve maybe the animals and stuff like that. Or obviously right now too, have a little bit of financial liberty in terms of some spending money. So I had some leftover birthday money from my previous birthday in terms of a gift certificate to go horseback riding. So we actually took Sam and then of course 2 friends that have never been horseback riding for the very first time. And that was absolutely so special. And again, those friends probably won't be making the drive out to our property as frequently, or somewhere out in our county, I guess I should say. So we're really just trying to soak up each and every little moment for the time being. Lots of new growth happening. So this is the second set that we've had since we moved home. So these are new, this is new. Obviously, he's still struggling. So this is the most new setup here after we moved back. Every morning. See, every morning. That was kind of a crap throw, huh? You're like, you could do better. You could do so much better. Yep, Mom could do better. You gonna give me the ball? That's the wrong direction. Good boy. Good morning. It is a beautiful 55-degree morning out here. We actually have sun. The boys are happy. I got 15 minutes to my very first patient of the day. Now I'm just living the best life, honestly. I'm so happy because normally during this time, what I would have been doing a couple months ago is I would have been driving for an hour to get to my nursing homes that I was covering. And right now, I'm just really enjoying the luxury of getting to work for myself and somewhat set my own schedule. I mean, okay, I have complete control over my schedule. I've just noticed what times work best for people. Therefore, I try to keep my first person at 8 a.m. in the morning. But as a whole, and as a rule, I do get to set whenever I do and don't want to work, which is absolutely amazing. This is a dream come true and a very much prayed for prayer that has kind of come true at this point.
To tell John that we've been busy being farmers.
Is he excited? Interesting.
Oh yeah. This is just such a like his paper and stuff. He's like really stuff. No, that's wow. That's a good walk pace. 16:30.
Alright, going for hike slash walk slash I guess trail run in Beckley. Might run a little bit more, but we shall see. Glorious, I mean absolutely glorious day in terms of the weather. It could not be any better.